Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, we're pulling some sacred shards, but let me explain how many I'm pulling and why I am pulling them, because I've been doing, some strategizing here on my account, working out what I want to do for this Gaius the Gleeful fragment event, and also preparing for potential guaranteed legendary events coming up soon, because I suspect there are going to be some coming in, right? So this is where we're at with Gaius the Gleeful, right? This is where we're at. 5 fragments for 1750 points, another 15 fragments for 3,500. And then the other thing that's going to be happening during this Gaius the Gleeful is that next weekend should be a 2 times Ancient Shard event, which should coincide with the Champion Chase event, which can also give 15 shards. So sort of that decision, I could go and get all the shards this weekend from Summon Rush, and then I could skip Champion Chase, because if you watch my Gaius the Gleeful fragment planner for free-to-play or low spenders, I was pointing out in that one that you can skip one of them. You can skip 15 from Summon Rush or 15 from Champion Chase. One of those is skippable if you get every other fragment that is up for grabs from like non-tournament wins. So yeah, that's where we're at. And you can see from my shard numbers, I've got 124 Ancients, I've got 12 Sacred Shards. The sort of guaranteed legendary benchmarks are usually about 150 for Ancients and 15 for Sacred Shards. And I think we're going to have one of these events coming up soon. And one of my clanmates, while he was actually saying, Bill, he pointed this out, and this is what sort of pushed me in this direction. He said, we actually had guaranteed summons for Wither. We had guaranteed summons for Kyoku very recently with Sacreds. So we've had quite a lot of guaranteed legendaries from Sacreds. So that's probably not going to come up quite so soon. Obviously, it's no guarantee. It's all speculation. But I was already thinking, I do think we're going to have a guaranteed event for legendary from Ancient Shards for probably 150 Ancients. I think it's very likely in the next week or two, right? Why is that? Well, number one, we haven't had one for a while. Archbishop Pinthroy was the last one. Number two, yesterday, we had the best 10 times from Ancient Shards ever. So people were drained of Ancient Shards yesterday. Number three, we have a 2 times Ancient event in the upcoming weekend, right? Next weekend should be 2 times Ancients. So I think they'll either potentially during CVC this week stick a guaranteed legendary for 150 Ancients. I can buy that with gems. That's it. I think there's a decent possibility that could happen, right? Guaranteed, really good legendary wedged in between amazing 10 times for Ancients and 2 times Ancients, or maybe the week after that, after the 2 times Ancients. That is my suspicion, so I'm going to try preserve those. Anyway, long rant over. What am I going to do? This is my plan, very specific plan. I'm going in. I've got a few greens pulled because there's a champion training event on. Unfortunately, I've been fairly busy, so I haven't had real time to focus on it. I've got 110 points already from that. What I'm planning to do is to pull, I've got 2 void shards right now. I'm hoping to get a third. In fact, I will definitely get a third one from Doom Tower after the reset tonight. I'm going to pull 3 void shards tomorrow with my 110 points already existing. I'll use my mystery shards to fill out the rest. That's going to get me 500 points. So I only need to get 3,000 more points to get all of these fragments, and then I can skip entirely the 2 times event next weekend. So we're going to be pulling 6 sacred shards to make up for this. And yeah, 6 sacreds, it's a lot, but I'll still have 6 saved up. So start working back towards building up the 15 for a guaranteed sacred event. So that is the plan. That's what we're going to do. We have enough silver. We have enough space. Let's dive in. Actually, before we dive in, let me briefly mention, these are the champions boosted from the 10 times event. I did a whole video yesterday on 10 times events and what your actual chances are. So if you're interested in, and I gave you like a rough method, a heuristic method, just to get a general rule of thumb as to how likely you are to get one of these, which is just, a quick practical way of doing it. And then I also gave you like in-depth breakdown of the stats, the chances, all the rest. So if you want to see that, check it out if you haven't already. But I think Wither would be my number one here. I would love to get Wither, amazing champion. Bad L, I'm actually personally, weirdly enough, not super excited for Bad L. He's amazing for dungeons, but for me, dungeons are like one of the least interesting aspects of the game. And I believe from like polls and stuff I've seen of players, that makes me like pretty much the opposite of most players, where dungeons is probably their favorite part of the game. It's the opposite for me, but he's amazing there, and obviously just a really good champion in general. Mountain King, I think, is the weaker of this set, but he is good for 3v3, and I would definitely use them for sure. So I'm happy for any of these. Honestly, I'm happy to hit any legendary. Pretty much is going to be fine. If we did hit one, we'd like to get a good one. We're going to be starting out, though, with Romero, who is an epic. As far as I'm aware, he's really not worth building. AoE attack when Juliana, but I think she's weak. Continuous heal on an ally with low HP. Okay, continuous heal on all allies and steal a buff, but a 4-turn cooldown. And then a 5-turn cooldown shield on everyone equal to 25% their max HP. And gives him a small... Yeah, his cooldowns are just very long. Definitely a champion that's probably not worth your time building out. Here we go. Shard number 2. And we've got ourselves a Relic Keeper. Man, this guy's great, like, in your first month of playing, where you're red affinity and he just starts, you know, one-shotting and getting extra turns like the other starter champions, but that's about it. Poor old Relic Keeper. Next up, we've got another epic. Again, it's very unlikely. Oh, yo, I actually need this guy. Okay. I've never pulled him before. So, Gorlos Helmo. This guy's actually pretty decent. A1, double hitter, fills his turn meter if the target's under decreased defense, HP burn, decreased accuracy, cool. His A3, I'm leaving the best bit to last, obviously. A3 is a single target attack that can put HP burn and decrease accuracy for 3 turns and gives him some turn meter. Not bad, 4-turn cooldown. It's his A3 that makes him good. AoE, 100% chance of decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. What is he good for? He's good for speed running, demon spawn, faction wars. And he's good for, I think, a couple of the secret rooms in Doom Tower as well. So this champion is actually not terrible. Again, compared to all the other champions in the game, he's not that good. He's got ally attack and Doom Tower battles, right? He's obviously not, you know, top tier by any means in most areas of the game, but for that specific stuff of faction wars, he is actually good. So for me, this actually makes him someone that's probably going to be worth building up. He's going to be worth building when I've got the time and the resources to do so, just to speed up those runs, because that, you know, every little bit adds up over time. Here we go, we got a legendary! Oh, and it's Lord Jamfort. Okay. So he is a duplicate. That being said, this is not a bad dupe to have, you know? This is going to help me fill up my... Do I already have a dupe of him? I wonder if I've got him as a dupe already, because I know I've got... No, I don't. Okay, here you go. You know what? Boom, 10% attack for Bannerlord legendaries. Not super useful, but it's getting us more towards this useful stuff, like more accuracy resistance. Hey, I'll take a dupe. But Jamfort, he's actually, you know, he's a pretty solid champion. I think he can be very good for some Hydra rotations. Why is he good for Hydra rotations, I hear you ask? Well, here's the thing. He's got good base resistance, good base attack, and he's a HP-based champion, so he's nice and tanky. You build him with high resistance because he gives himself a big shield every single turn, right? When this is booked, every single time he takes a turn, gives himself a big shield, which means that he can have more buffs than the rest of your team. And this can enable him to tank Head of Mischief. He's one of the great champions for doing this, so long as the shield doesn't get broken, which again, based off of his stats, should be reasonably easy to keep this up. So he'll be tanking that Head of Mischief. Head of Mischief keeps attacking him. You build him with high resistance. He can't get his turn meter stolen then. He can't get his buff stolen. And it just makes Hydra much easier. Then this other part of the passive is also great for Hydra. It's the small version of decreased speed, 15% decreased speed whenever an enemy attacks him. But this is again super good for Hydra because you've got the Head of Wrath, the Head of Suffering, Head of Blight. You've got so many of these heads coming in and doing these AoE attacks. And he puts out this small version of decreased speed and he just gets it out there very consistently. Which is good because, you know, getting a big version of decreased speed, consistent AoE, that's a difficult thing to do. He gives you a very consistent version of the small one, which, you know, it definitely adds up. He also has AoE decrease attack and decrease accuracy on a 3-turn cooldown. This is also really good to just help your team stay alive. He can place decreased defense, but a small chance on his A1. So yeah, Lord Jamfort, I think he was definitely languishing in the vault before this. I think he had some use for, you know, potentially doing some Ice Golem solo stuff. But he wouldn't be the best for it or the fastest, like compared to Bad Elf, for example. But for Hydra, he's definitely come into his own, like that decreased accuracy, giving himself that buff. That sort of stuff has actually become very useful. So he is a good legendary. There you go. Hey, we got a legendary. You know what? I'm happy with that. I am happy. We got 2 more to pull. Can we pull another one? We got 2 6% chances here. And we did! No way, man. 2 in a row! This is a new one. Rashkar the Tower. He is a new legendary, guys. He's brand new for me. Awesome, cool. This guy's actually great. My girlfriend has him on her account, and he enables, like for her, she doesn't have a man eater, but she's been able to. She's still working on an unkillable composition using Rashkar, right? Because he does this 4-turn cooldown, block damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. Like that's a pretty cool move. That's pretty unique, pretty awesome. Um, this can be very punishing, like earlier game in the arena, for example. Then he has Sanction, which is attack one enemy, puts block active skills and block buffs for 2 turns. And these debuffs cannot be resisted, so he doesn't need accuracy. This is situational, but potentially useful. I think this guy could probably be quite good for some Doom Tower stuff as well. His A1 has a 50% chance of removing a random buff from the target. So yeah, I think he's obviously great for Demon Lord Clan Boss. Can be great for early game arena. He also looks freaking badass, man. The big old hammer. And he's just tall. Man, 2 back to back. Oh my goodness. He's got 33% HP in all battles aura. His damage is based off of... Oh, attack on that one. This one's based off HP. Interesting. You just have to be careful with this one on some clan boss teams. You might not want to place these debuffs on your Demon Lord clan boss because it's going to prevent you placing poisons if you got multiple poisoners. Man, this has worked out so well. Oh my goodness. Can we get 3 in a row? Surely not. Surely not. What is life? What is this? What is going on? What is this? Oh my god. What is going on? Robar. He's new. I kind of feel I should keep pulling at this point, shouldn't we? Oh my god. Is there anything we can't do? But Robar, he's a force affinity attack based champion. He actually hits very hard. What is it? His move? I think it's this one. Merciless. He actually has always 2 AoEs. I didn't actually know that. This AoE though, Merciless Assault, attacks all enemies. Damage increases if the target's under fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, stun, or petrification. This move actually hits extremely hard. Of course, you need these debuffs out there to set them up, which is a little bit difficult to do. One thing that could be intriguing, I could potentially try him out, guys, with Gaius, right? With I'm not going to have enough legendary books to do all of this straight away. We could certainly try him unbooked, but if we run him with Gaius, the Gleeful, right, the fusion right now, he puts people to sleep and puts bombs on. That could potentially maybe be a good combo if you run them sort of speed tuned, that Robar be 1 speed slower than Gaius. Gaius sleeps them and then Robar smacks them. And then if they somehow survive, they're still going to have bombs on? I wonder. Maybe it could work. I don't know. Maybe. But this smacks hard. He actually has an AoE decreased defense as well with a 3-turn cooldown. Again, this is great for Orc Faction Wars too. And his A1 attacks an enemy, 50% chance to stun for a turn, grants an extra turn if this debuff successfully placed. Now the thing is, I don't know. I feel like it's slightly awkward, right? In terms of arena, how do you build him? Right? Do you build him for pure damage to just one-shot people? Because if you build someone for pure damage, I call this the Astralon problem. If you have to invest into accuracy, to actually get through these teams later in the game that are going to have good resistance, you're going to have to really commit to accuracy. And if you commit to accuracy, that means, an accuracy banner. It's going to mean perception sets, accuracy sets, could mean an accuracy chess piece, accuracy substat rolls. It's going to take away from your damage. Like it's just got to take away, right? So that's always a trade-off. So do you build him pure damage, or do you build him as more of a hybrid where, yeah, he can still hit super hard, but he can land these debuffs? Man, what's he got? Accuracy and faction crypts. Yo, cool. Well, guys, in a way, potentially I should keep pulling, but I tell you what, I'm going to call it right there. But what a set of pulls. I think that was 6 sacred shards. I've never got so many. Even in my best 2 times pulls from sacreds before, I've never got so many legendaries. It's never happened. That is insane. That is another level of luck. That is so good. We got Rashkar. We got ourselves a duplicate Lord Jamfort, and we got ourselves a Robar. I think all of them good champions. Like, none of them are S tier, like absolute gods, but these are all champions that have, a specific sort of thing that they do extremely well and can be worth building, which is exactly what I want, out of my champions. No, I mean, a Duchess would have been nice, but can I complain? Absolutely not. Wow, the luck is with me today, guys. Hopefully, some of my luck will pass on to you. Good luck with your stuff. Again, like I said, do prioritize always. The smart thing to do. I know, lucky pulls can get you overhyped sometimes, before you go crazy pulling your own shards. Do take a breath. assess your situation here, work out, what do I need to do to maximize my resources, give myself the best chance. I hope though that you do have good luck like I did. Guys, thanks for watching. Oh my god, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.